So how much more when you say, I will not lie. So every time you do not open that mouth, you are accumulating merit. And that's why some practitioners does not speak. This is the path of accumulation. See, if we don't know this, we don't even know what we have. So when you are, if in case you are single or you have a partner and you keep your vow of sexual, no sexual misconduct, that is actually very profound practice. Because you have committed these five precepts and you say, I will not in this life. That is heavy.
So, Sifu, if breaking the vow will have a more serious consequence?
Yes, if you break the root. That's why you need to read your vow every day. And so with anyone here who have actually taken the Bodhisattva vow, anyone who has taken Bodhisattva vow? Okay. Not yet. But I hope someday you will. Because when you take a vow, it is more powerful. But of course, you have to make sure, then that you have to then abide in discipline. That's why monks and nuns who has high vows, okay, they just cannot do whatever. Alright? Because what? Of not breaking the vow. Of the root of that vow. You cannot force a nun or a monk to go to the bar. Although I confess I went one.
So, can I ask a question? If people take the vow, this might be misunderstood. Does that mean that I must become vegetarian? Or not necessarily?
Oh, very good. This is very profound question. Okay, I will answer that on the sideline later. Okay, because this is very deep. We will look into it when we get into the precepts. Okay, because it looks like it's nice to review all this, right? You like to review it?
Yes.
Yeah? Or maybe be reminded of this? Yeah? In Tibetan Buddhism, okay, which is, it depends on the practice, okay? And really in the sutra, as clearly, there's no saying, you're vegetarian and blah blah blah. There's really, even in the Kanjur and the Tenjur, it's not really there. However, okay, the practice, okay, like for example, we don't want to buy meat, because where did the meat come from? They killed that, So then it looks like we are endorsing those kind of actions. And so we are, but you are not really literally breaking your vow when you have a chicken sandwich, okay? Because you did not kill the chicken, okay? You did not do the action. Now remember, any vows, okay, are actually related to the action. And we'll talk about this when we get into the karma. And it's really, really good topic, okay? And then, so if you did the action, however, you get your knife or your gun and say, honey, I'm going to go find some chicken. Well, yeah, you're going to be breaking your vow soon. Very soon. Yeah. And also if you send someone to go kill the chicken. And it's like, honey, can you go get me some chicken in the backyard? All right, yeah? See, that is breaking, I mean, you did not break the root vow, okay? But you instigated, you helped make it happen to get that chicken dead. Yeah, so there's a lot of fine line here, and yes, it is quite interesting, and it's really, I think it's appropriate, and I would say it is significant to know them, right? So that we will not be walking out there and running with our heads thinking, we know everything. But the truth is, we need to study this, In the Vinaya, okay, in the Tibetan monks and nuns, we study Vinayas for 3 years, okay? Meaning to perfect it, making sure you memorize. And of course, the full ordained one, nuns have 365 vows, okay? So how many do we have currently? 5? Okay, so you have, yeah, all right. But again, the root of that comes in, there are roots, there are branches. Okay, so then it became 365 for the nuns. And the monks are 265.
How come they're less?
It's
not fair, isn't it?
No, but it's also very difficult. Okay. So, however, that's why we're cranky, Okay, we're a little bit, grumpies. They say, Sifu, 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 and then they don't mind you, they just start walking. It's because of that. Okay? So you have to understand, 5 precepts compared to 365 precepts. 24 hours a day, 7 times a week. 365 days in a calendar year. So what a veneration for someone who can hold that vow. Yeah, but for you have 5. I'm not saying they are basic. It is actually the most. You have the base, you have the foundational precept. Okay? Actually, it is the most meritorious. If you keep this really in consciousness and you're aware of it, you, in that 10 years, will accumulate bountiful. If you know it. But because what happens is if you don't know and we forget a precept, what happened? We can slide, we can make mistakes, such as lying, Not only the sexual misconduct, all right? There are other things, such as what? Your friends give you alcohol, like, oh, this is great, and then you start drinking because you did not read your precept that day. I would suggest you read it. Write it down, type it up in large font, put it in your fridge, and you say, today I'm not kill, I'm not gonna do this, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna steal. Stealing is what? It is very, very important, taking anything that is not yours. But of course, again, there's branches on that, and we'll talk about it sometime, yeah? See? And then there you are, like, oh, I'm okay, only 5 precepts, I can do this, and then you took somebody's, whatever, and you drank their coffee or whatever, deliberately, that that's not yours and you still drank it. Or you took some pens from the office. Or some toilet paper and you say, I think I ran out of toilet paper, I'm going to borrow this. And you took it without asking permission. You see? And you say, oh, okay, my 5 precepts, So then therefore, I'm going to ask you, has any one of you have broken your precepts? Ever since you took the vow? Huh? How come silent? Okay, so the question is, what are you going to do when you break your vow? Or a little bit pinch it or dinged it?
Double your effort.
Yeah, you need to purify. Okay? So we'll talk about purification in a little bit. Okay, so we went all the way to that because of impermanence and death, you have to calculate your lifetime now. You're lucky. We're lucky if we even get to 90 years old and we're like, oh, you know, like still so sharp and vibrant and still can drive, can still see the road without lights, you know. No, it's no guarantee. Like, you know, our faculties, we're gonna slow down. Would you be able to like prostrate? Even. The knees start to ache. You know, you cannot even bend. And if you get up like, oh, like can somebody please pull me up? Yeah? So this time, think about it. You know, can you go to retreat? Can you receive more teachings? You know, getting old, we're getting really a little bit rusty, all right? And then we listen to Dharma teachings and I'm falling asleep. I'm sorry, Ephraim, it looks like your 10 years is going down to 5. But very good example. I'm just using that, of course. Of course, you will have a long life. You'll go to 120. Yeah, but you never know, you see? So again, you know, how many years do you have left to make sure you have enough merit, you accumulated merit, and that you have purified to guarantee our next rebirth.
If you don't do rebirth?
Well, I'm sorry, but I don't think so, because only, of course, if you are stainless, like if you're a Buddha, then yes, you no longer, you know, you can skip rebirth. Why we get reborn? It's because of our attachment. Okay, we still cling, go back, you know, like this, going back, right? Until we clean it up, until we clean our confusions, our delusions, our attachment, our ignorance is cut, and we become stainless, and we attain Buddha nature, come out like Buddhahood, then yes, no more reborn. That's why Shakyamuni Buddha, when he died, you know, that body, he went into parinirvana, that's it. Yeah, okay. Number 2, contemplation on the uncertainty of the time of death. We all know this, right? We don't know when. We agree? Yeah? Who can point out? The one amongst us here, yeah? Look at each other. Yeah, really, look at each other. You know, okay, I look at everyone first. Yeah? Did you look at each other?
Yes.
Yeah, look at everybody, seriously, look at everybody, making sure that, you know, yeah? Okay, so who can point out? Who amongst us will die first? No, seriously. Can you tell?
No.
Exactly. We can't. Even me, you think, oh, you have a long life. Not guaranteed. I don't know. This is the truth and reality of death, that, you know, you look at each other like, wow, really, I don't know when this person's gonna die. So look at do you have an enemy? Do you have someone you dislike?
No.
Well, that's good if you don't. And for those who have, and for those who doesn't at the moment, if in case you will have in the future a person who you will dislike, think of that and say, you don't know when he or she's gonna die. So if you keep on hurting each other, that's very sad that you actually hate him and hate her. And then that person died. What would you feel? Okay? And the third one to contemplate about impermanence and death is the realization that at the time of death, the Dharma is the only help. Yeah. But at the time of death, the only thing that can help us is the Dharma. Because probably everybody knows already, right? Okay, tell me why. Why is the Dharma the only thing that can help us at the time of death?
Because your senses are all almost gone, so the only thing is you.
Looks like we're
At least you can.
looking at God.
Yeah, at least you can chant.
Mm.
See if you say that doesn't.
Yeah, we need to know this. We need to make sure we know what we're doing in case the time of death. Now, the time of death too, it comes in different type, right? A long passing, you know? A sudden one. Do you have time to even Amitofu? Yeah, that's a question. So then there is one wish that you'd like. There's a prayer that says, may I die. May I die in the right time. And it's actually a long time before death comes. That way I'm prepared. I prepare my mind. Not a sudden death. May I not die in a sudden death. Because if you die at the moment where your mind is, for example, you're thinking of like, oh, where did I keep all my jewelries, you know? That is an automatic rebirth into a lower realm. When fear comes, that is an automatic rebirth onto the lower realm. When attachment comes at the time of death and you're not able to stabilize that or not be attached, okay? Immediately lower realm. So then my question is, are we ready to die right now?
We should be.
Like, where did I put my purse? Or say, wait, I need to call my husband. Or I forgot to tell my kids I love them. Yeah? Yeah. So again, the Dharma, it is your mind, the quality, okay, the state of the mind is the determinant of what and where is your next rebirth. Yeah. And you say, oh my goodness, how am I going to do this thing? Right? This is great. Then you start to think. You're going to have to start really like, wow, I have to ponder this. I need to contemplate. Maybe I need to talk to my wife about this thing, about death. Or talk to Sifu about death. Beautiful. That is what we are needing to practice. The stability of the mind, you know, your attachment to everything, you know. And usually when we die, a lot of people fear of death. So when you remember to take refuge that the Buddha is fearless, okay, and you took refuge to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, because of fearlessness, that should calm you down. Okay, so being a Buddhist, you know, a renounced, because again, if we're not renounced, because we love so much, we have so much clinging to the 8 worldly concerns, we are a little bit in trouble. Right? But we cannot just like let go of this 8 worldly concern in like, you know, in one, you know, in an instant. You're gonna have to practice it little by little. And this is what we're doing here, is how to take all of this big self, taking it brick by brick, you know, dismantling the self brick by brick. Okay? So again, what are these? Are these, you know, to contemplate at home about impermanence and death? Contemplate that what? There's no guarantee. There's no certainty of death. Okay? I'm sorry. The certainty of death, that yes, it is really going to happen. Okay? And the next one is the uncertainty of the time of death. And then the third contemplation is what? That is the Dharma is the only thing that will help at the time of death. Yeah, so anyone who are actually doing a lot of recreation that is actually very, very sensitive, or, you know, predominantly very active, like scuba diving, or, you know, skydiving, or they like to do bungee jumping. Kind of think about that, yeah? That actually would allow an opportunity, you're conditioning your life to end. Yeah. If you're speeding, for example, because you want to get to your place really quick, you don't want to get late, what happens? You are conditioning your life to end or to have an accident. So think about this. These are all mindfulness about the preciousness of your life. You need to approach the way you do things differently. You know, when you're chopping, yeah, and you're rushing, and guess what? It's an opportunity. You are conditioning again of your life and your being healthy, of cutting and removing your finger. Then it is an opportunity for what? For disease to come, for more problems. And if you have other conditions, bingo, another conditioning to lessen your life, you know, your lifespan. So all of this you need to think. There's a lot to contemplate. Yeah? Alright, so quickly, before we end, so go ahead and write down on your little lotto ticket. Some people actually arrived here late. Can you just share some blank pink papers to everybody? This is quite important, this pink slip. Yeah, this is quite very good. Did you like the other blue ticket before?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry, yellow. Oh, your future will be blue. Okay, any pen? Oh, sorry, I didn't. Yeah, okay. Pass it on. Yes. All right, so in this little pink paper, just quickly write, all right? The things that you have received and listened today as a teaching. What's the most significant learning you have actually gained today? The most important thing that you thought that pertains to your life experience at this moment, that you think you can possibly contemplate, all right, for the entire week until our next session. What is that? Because I'd like you to really sit on that when you get home. And you can use that as your meditation. And just say, this is what I learned today. And I'd like to reflect and practice this. And really vow that you're going to do that this week. This is how the Dharma should get into the mind stream. Is you contemplate on the teaching and adapt to it, make it real. Then the Buddha Dharma is alive when you practice that. It's not just a word. Okay. Okay, everybody's writing a paragraph already. Which is great, that's great. All right, any questions? I have an announcement later after we take our dedication, okay? All right, so I guess no questions. Let's grab our dedication. The title is on the bottom. It's quite unique. We should just keep it this way forever.
It's all right.
All right, page 3. Okay, let's all recite this. Now, in order for us actually to accumulate also another merit, like very profound merit, is when you read a prayer, okay, you read it in the heart, okay? And if it does not get into your heart, you read it again. And you read it, you know, like you feel it, okay? Because these prayers are passed on from generations and generations. Okay, so let's dedicate. Through the merits of these virtuous actions, may I quickly attain the state of a Guru Buddha and lead all living beings without exception into that enlightened state. May the precious body-mind, not yet born, arise and grow, and may that born have no decline, but increase forevermore. May anyone who merely sees, hears, remembers, touches, or talks to me be freed from that very instant from all sufferings and abide in happiness forever. May sentient beings who have all been my mother and father be completely happy, and may all the lower realms be forever empty. May all the prayers of bodhisattvas in whatever places they live be immediately fulfilled. Day and night, may I pass the time thinking and examining by what means these teachings